Today I would like to have a look back to Grand Prix Racing in the seasons 1938 and 1939. I will have a closer look at how exactly Mercedes and Auto Union developed their race cars in the hard competition against each other. In the 1937 season the capacity was not limited, only the maximum weight of 750 kg. But engines got lighter and much stronger at an incredible pace, so regulators decided to limit the maximum capacity of engines. Previously, the supercharged engines had between 5.6 and 6 liter capacity and more than 600 horsepower. A new set of regulations was revealed for the 1938 season, allowing only up to 3 liter capacity for supercharged engines and up to 4.5 liter capacity for naturally aspirated engines. Mercedes developed the W154 for the new regulations with the 3 liter V12 with a 2-step supercharger and 480 horsepower. The change from a straight 8 to a much lower V12 meant better aerodynamics and resulted in a top speed of over 310 km per hour, and very similar to the much stronger predecessor. Mercedes kept the front engine concept with the driver sitting very far back, which gives the driver a very good feeling for oversteer. The problem with this concept though is that the fuel tank is behind the driver, and that means that while burning fuel during a race, the rear of the car will become lighter and lighter, and tends to more and more oversteer. Another problem of this package is usually that the driver sits on the prop shaft, which results in a higher seating position, worse aerodynamics, and a higher center of gravity. So how did Mercedes solve these problems for their 1938 race car? They angled the V12 engine significantly and placed the gearbox with an integrated differential directly at the rear axle. The hole in this picture is for the external starter to reach the crankshaft, and you can see its off-center position. Mercedes solved the fuel tank problem with the concept where they split the tanks in two parts, one sitting above the driver's legs, the only available free room, and one behind the driver. Two big hoses either side the cockpit opening connect both fuel tanks with each other. The rearward hose connection is slightly higher, so the fuel tends to stay in the forward tank for longer, which is improving the car's weight distribution. Because of the T-junction between both tanks, they are both used at the same pace. You can see here how the fuel level is decreasing in the system. The volume behind the rear axle is a lot smaller and the balance change during a race is significantly lower. One special feature of this fuel system is that when they only refueled half the tank, because of the special shape, the fuel went to the forward part first. Another trick was that the car had two fuel flaps, one for the fuel itself that went into the tank under high pressure to reduce refueling time, the other fuel flap for an air pressure bottle that pressurized the rearward tank and pressed more fuel into the forward tank to improve weight distribution. A genius system that helped to improve balance and tire wear a lot. Because of the angled engine and the prop shaft on the left-hand side, Mercedes placed the oil tank on the right to improve balance. To improve previous instabilities, Mercedes used a sophisticated De Dion rear axle at the back. We can see the rigid rearward element that is guided in the center at the differential housing, the trailing arms, drive shaft, prop shaft at the left-hand side of the cockpit, lever dampers, and torsion springs that are a Porsche patent, by the way. For the 1939 season, Mercedes improved the handling with adjustable rear dampers and better damper cooling. The dampers got a fin design to avoid overheating, which could decrease viscosity and hence reduce damping. For the damper adjustment, the driver had a lever on the left-hand side of the cockpit, with which he could increase the oil pressure and adjust damping. If we look at the front axle, we see a modern double wishbone construction with coil springs and lever dampers. For cooling, the W154 had radiators in a bespoke shape to keep the front as low and slim as possible. The air intake for the engine was reaching through the cooling package to get the coolest air and the highest pressure at the car's stagnation point. The Mercedes W154 went on to dominate Grand Prix Racing during the 1938 and 1939 season, although the concept had significant disadvantages. The team had the biggest budget, the largest development team, and the level of engineering they brought to the track is just impressive. And that's it for today. The next part will have a closer look at the Auto Union race cars of the 1938 and 1939 season and its genius design details. If you want to hear more about historic race cars, let me know in the comments below.